What really happens after we die? This question has echoed through human history. We've built religions and philosophies around it, whispered it in moments of fear and wonder. For most of my life it was just an abstract thought, something for poets and priests, not for me. I lived day by day, caught up in work, family, and the simple joys and sorrows of life. The end felt distant, a far-off shore. But life has a way of making the abstract real. My moment of truth came suddenly, on an ordinary day. One minute, I was living my life. The next, I was face to face with the ultimate unknown. The question of what lies beyond death was no longer philosophical, it became my reality. This experience changed everything for me. It stripped away fears I didn't know I had and reshaped my understanding of life and death. I was given a glimpse behind the curtain, a brief look into a reality our senses can't perceive. It was both terrifying and beautiful, and I feel compelled to share it. So, walk with me for a moment. Step into my shoes and see what I saw. This is the story of how I died for 30 minutes, and what I found in that timeless space. It was an ordinary Tuesday. The sun was shining, coffee brewing, and the day promised routine. I was at my desk, lost in emails and deadlines. No premonition, no warning, just the hum of the office. I felt a tightness in my chest, dismissed it as indigestion, and tried to get back to work. But the pain grew, sharp and crushing, radiating down my arm. My breath caught. I tried to call for help, but only a gasp escaped. The room blurred, sounds faded, my body felt impossibly heavy. The last thing I remember was my head hitting the desk, a dull thud, then silence. The pain vanished, the fear dissolved. The weight was gone. It wasn't a gentle fading, it was abrupt, like a cord being cut. One moment, I was in my body. The next, I was not. The world simply ceased to exist for me. There was nothing, no blackness, no emptiness, just cessation. My heart had stopped. Medically, I was beginning the journey into clinical death. For me it was an arrival at total stillness, the story was over, or so I thought. The silence, however, was not the end. It was the beginning of something else entirely. The nothingness didn't last. Awareness returned, but it was different, detached, disembodied. I found myself floating near the ceiling, seeing the scene below with perfect clarity. My body slumped over the desk, colleagues rushing over, panic on their faces. Someone called for help. Paramedics arrived, working swiftly. I watched as they cut open my shirt, attached paddles, and shocked my body. I felt nothing, just a profound silence and peace. I was a spectator, watching a life that no longer felt like mine. The emotional ties were gone, only calm curiosity remained. The chaos below was distant, as if happening to someone else. I was pure awareness, untethered from my body and worries. As the paramedics worked, I felt a gentle pull, drawing me away. The office faded, and I knew I was leaving that reality behind. I was moving on to whatever came next. The detachment was profound. My life's worries seemed insignificant. I was simply aware, floating in perfect tranquility. The scene below faded completely. I was ready for what lay beyond. The office dissolved, and I found myself adrift in a new space, a void. It wasn't darkness, but an infinite, complete emptiness. I wasn't scared. The peace from before remained. In this void, I was not alone. I was the void, and the void was me. My consciousness expanded to fill the space. I was more aware than ever, free from the body's distractions. Thoughts became pure concepts. My life appeared as a complete tapestry. There was no judgment, only deep understanding. Time ceased to exist. There was only an eternal now. I existed without form, without fear, in perfect stillness. The void was not absence but presence, the raw material of consciousness. It was the canvas for reality, a place of profound rest and potential. It was the silent heart of the universe. As I rested in this infinite potential, I sensed a change. A tiny point of light appeared in the distance. Something new was coming. From the heart of the void, a single point of light emerged. It was small, like a distant star, but radiated warmth and acceptance. The light grew, pushing back the darkness with a gentle golden glow. It illuminated the void, revealing peace, not emptiness. As I drew closer, the warmth intensified, an overwhelming sense of love. This love was absolute, unconditional, and all-encompassing. I felt completely known and accepted. The light healed parts of me I never knew were broken. It was alive, conscious, and wise, the source of the peace I'd felt. I felt an irresistible pull to merge with it, to become part of its warmth. My individual identity began to dissolve. I had no fear, only a yearning to get closer. The light was home, peace, and love, everything. It filled my awareness. I was on the verge of becoming one with it. It was a moment of pure ecstasy and belonging. I was ready to surrender to its embrace. As I entered the light, I sensed presences within it, shimmering outlines of energy. I recognized them instantly: my grandmother, my best friend, others I'd loved and lost. They weren't as they were in life, but I knew them by their essence. Communication was instant, feelings and understanding shared directly. They radiated joy, comfort, and reassurance. They showed me they weren't gone, just transitioned to this state of light and love. Their consciousness continued, vibrant and at peace. The love between us was a tangible force, connecting us all. Being with them felt natural, confirming that the bonds of love are eternal. Death was not an ending, but a doorway. The fear of loss melted away in this beautiful reunion. I understood, death is a transition, not a loss. Just as I was about to merge with the light, another presence appeared. It was not familiar. A consciousness of immense power and wisdom. It was the source of the light. The intelligence behind the love. Its awareness was vast but not frightening, tempered by infinite compassion. A voice spoke not with words but as a thought in my consciousness. It was neither male nor female but perfectly balanced. The message was simple: it is not your time, you have more to do, you must go back, I protested, wanting to stay in this place of peace and love. The response was understanding and gentle, reaffirming my purpose. My life had meaning yet to be fulfilled, a mission I had chosen. The love from this presence was overwhelming, dissolving my resistance. I understood and accepted. The decision was an act of grace, not punishment. I was being sent back because my journey on earth was not complete. With a final wave of love and purpose, I was turned away from the light. The reunion was over. I was being sent back to the world of the living. The return was violent and sudden. One moment I was in the light, the next, crushed by the weight of my body. Pain exploded in my chest, fiery, excruciating agony. The silence was shattered by noise, beeping, shouting, chest compressions. I gasped for air, my senses overwhelmed. Paramedics' faces swam above me, relief in their eyes. I was drowning in sensory overload, disoriented and grieving for the peace I'd lost. I tried to speak, but my body wouldn't obey. I felt like an exile, torn from home and thrust into a harsh reality. The transition was brutal, a stark contrast to the gentle journey away. The rest of the day was a blur of medical tests and explanations. But I knew I had traveled somewhere else. The pain in my chest was a constant reminder of my violent return. Recovery brought profound change. Physically I healed, but spiritually I was transformed. My fear of death vanished. Having seen beyond, I knew it wasn't an end. Life's small anxieties lost their power over me. I focused on love, connection, kindness, and purpose. I saw the light reflected in the world around me. My life became a search for ways to bring more of that light here. I don't have all the answers, and maybe I never will. Was it a hallucination, or a glimpse of another reality? The peace remains. I believe our consciousness is eternal, a spark of that divine light. We are here to learn, love, and grow before returning home. I share this story to invite you to wonder, what do you believe happens after we die?